Coming to you from the bowels of the Winners and Winers Sports and Entertainment Complex to talk about Championship Saturday. Man, it's going to be a barn burner. We've got 8 fantastic games. This will usually be the spot where we do our Fab Five. But you know what? You guys are better than that. You guys deserve better than that. We're not doing a Fab Five. We're going to do a great 8. As I started looking at all these championship games, and I thought, you know what? Why not? We did the 2 on Friday night. As of this recording, I don't know how those came out. I hope they came out well for all of us. And either way, we'll plunge on to our Saturday action. Before I get started, this will be the first time I've shot a video since the New Orleans Saints debacle. And I'll give you a short list of the things I got right about that game. It was played in Dallas. It was played at the AT&T Stadium, and it started at 8:20 Eastern Time. That concludes the list of facts I got right about the New Orleans-Dallas game. We were on the wrong side of everything there. That game did not go down as I anticipated, nor as a lot of other people around the country anticipated, guys, frankly, that are a lot smarter than I am. So, yeah, it happens. And by the way, shout out to Jesse, the money man, James, who was only one of my followers that told us he was on Dallas tonight. Good call, Jesse. Bad call on the over. In fact, in one of my responses and on my podcast, if you guys happen to listen to that, I talked about if you wanted to get on Dallas, you ought to throw the under in there. It was like getting a free parlay because I just didn't see any way that Dallas was going to win a shootout with the Saints. Of course, I didn't see that. I think there was any way that Drew Brees was going to throw for less than 40 yards in the first half. So, I guess we were all going to be surprised. So, good job, Jesse. And as to the rest of you guys, to Paul, to Alejandro, to Jans, you know what? Better days ahead, my guys. We're still way up in the NFL, and yeah, we're gonna fire. We got the Fab Five coming tomorrow, so don't despair. We ride again, and away we go with the college ball. First up on our slate is the University of Alabama at Birmingham, heading to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to take on the Middle Tennessee State University Blue Raiders. This is a rematch of last week's game. Same place, same bat time, same bat channel. We took the Blue Raiders there, -3. They ended up winning 27-3. That line is a little bit less this week, -1.5. But to me, nothing has changed. The thing about the UAB, they're kind of fading down the stretch, and they're not a great road team. In fact, the offense averages 7 less points than their season average. They average 29 per game for the year. On the road, they average just 22. Like I said, we took them last week. I see no reason to jump off the horse this week. Middle Tennessee State University Blue Raiders -1.5. By the way, there is some bad weather that is anticipated down there in Tennessee. So if you're thinking about a total, it's already dropped from 47 down to 44, 44.5 in some spots. So just be aware. If you hear this, you're going to get on that total. I'd jump on it quick. I imagine that number is still going to be in free fall if that forecast comes into focus. It's going to be as bad as they think. All right. Next up, playing for the championship there in Conference USA is the Memphis University Tigers, traveling down to Orlando to take on the University of Central Florida. The Knights are a 3-point favorite. 64 is the number in that contest. This is a home game for the University of Central Florida, but the big news, you probably already know it if you follow college football at all. University of Central Florida's 2-year starter, Mackenzie Milton, is out at quarterback. That, my friends, is a huge blow. He was pretty much the straw that stirred the drink there for the night. Sure, they've still got a decent defense. They've still got some weapons on offense, but Mackenzie Milton, that's huge. That's huge for the Knights. This would probably have been about a 9 or 10 point favorite spot for UCF down to 3. And, they got a freshman quarterback in there right now, Darrell Mack. He was 5 for 14 last week for 81 yards. He rushed for 51 against the University of South Florida. UCF managed to prevail in that game, but Memphis is definitely a step up from USF. The problem with the University of Central Florida facing Memphis, not particularly a great matchup for them. Memphis is 5th in the nation in rushing, while the Knights' defense is just 109th against the rush. Memphis just about had them beat in Memphis earlier this year. Central Florida managed to come back and prevail by 1 point, but I don't think it happens here today. The first game, Memphis ran 55 times for 281 yards. I think a repeat of that is a real strong possibility. I think Memphis controls the game and hand the Knights their first outright loss in 2 seasons. I like Memphis +3 right here. If you want to sprinkle on that money line, feel free to take a shot on that as well. You heard it here first. UCF winning streak comes to an end on Saturday. All right, moving on to the Big 12. Another rematch from a season from the looking for an avenge spot here for the Oklahoma Sooners as Texas handed them their only loss of the season. Oklahoma is an 8-point favorite. They're in Jerry World. 77 is the total. Hey, it's down 8 points from last week. You know, a lot was made last week about how bad the West Virginia defense was and how Oklahoma just ran over this terrible defense. I've got a piece of news for you. The Texas defense is not a lot better. In fact, they rank 51st in scoring defense, while West Virginia ranks just behind them at 60. Oklahoma defense gives up 7.5 points more than Texas, but the problem is they scored 19 more. I think the Sooners, man, they can taste the playoffs. The Big 12 traditionally gets left at the altar. It certainly looks like it could happen again this year. The Sooners want to do everything in their power not to make that happen. They are going to score early, score often. Remember, like a couple of these games we're going to talk about, style points count right here. Oklahoma, they don't pull off the Dogs at all. Oklahoma comfortably covers the 8 points. All right, heading to the Fun Belt, everybody. The Fun Belt. As the University of Louisiana at Lafayette take on the West Virginia. Close. They are in West Virginia. The Appalachian State Mountaineers. Both teams are going to be looking to run the ball right here, okay? Appalachian State is a huge favorite, 16.5. What I'm interested in here is the total. 58.5 is the number. They don't like to throw the ball any more than they have to. They both like to establish the run and run a little bit more. In fact, the University of Louisiana Lafayette, they averages 21.7 points on the road. That's not going to get it done. I think App State probably prevails here. I don't know about covering the 16.5. The play that I do like is under 58.5. I think that total is a little too high there. All right, heading to the SEC. Hey, maybe you've heard of these guys. The University of Georgia Bulldogs take on Alabama. They're in the Dome. Alabama's -13. The total 63.5. You know what? A lot of these games we're going to talk about with these teams, you're just going to have to pull the trigger. You've seen Alabama play. You know what they're all about. You know Tua's going to get his, but I think what happens here is I think the defense steps up. They're peaking at the right time. You throw out the weird game against the Citadel where they ran the triple option, and I think Alabama's defense asserts themselves right here. I think they get this one for Saban and the Tide. Roll Tide, baby. -13. Ain't afraid at all. These two teams are on different levels. Alabama shows the Bulldogs what's what. All right, heading to the Mountain West up there in Boise, Idaho on the blue turf. The Fresno State Bulldogs take on the Boise State Broncos. Boise State is a 2.5-point favorite. This is also a rematch from a game earlier this season. Same place. In fact, Boise was actually an underdog in that game, 2-point dog. First time they'd been an underdog there at home for the first time since 2001. Boise not only beat the number, but they prevailed outright over Fresno State. I think these two teams are headed in an opposite direction. Fresno State has been exposed just a little bit. Boise, on the other hand, they've got some wild dreams about a New Year's Day bowl. And here's how that would work, all right? People say, well, there's no way that can happen. They're ranked number 22 in the nation. Absolutely correct. University of Central Florida is ranked number 8 in the nation. It wouldn't seem possible that they would be able to leapfrog over the University of Central Florida. By the way, one team from the so-called Second Five Conference, the Gang of Five, if you will, they get an automatic spot in one of the New Year's Bowl games if it's not the playoffs, which, face it, they're not going to the playoffs. So what happens is Boise goes big. University of Central Florida gets blown out by Memphis. I think Boise moves up enough. I think Florida, University of Central Florida moves down enough, especially without Milton. I think Boise State has a lot to play for here. Fresno State, they've been exposed. They're not the team they are. Boise, on the Smurf turf, -2.5. They get it done. All right, heading to the ACC. The Clemson Tigers, 28-point favorite over the Pittsburgh Panthers. 52.5 is the number there. You know, here's the problem with Clemson. They've had it on cruise control for about the last 3 weeks. They have no incentive at all for a blowout. Pitt, trying to make something in their season. They hung tough last week. Couldn't quite get it done. I think that they, in no way do they have a shot at winning this game, but I think they keep it close enough. I think Clemson runs the ball, stretches out the clock. Pittsburgh, not a great passing team. I think they'll run the ball as often as they can. I'll take Pittsburgh plus the 28. That's just a lot of points. I know Clemson has a history of blowing out people in this spot, but it's when they had something to prove. I think Clemson absolutely gets it done here, but I see that more as a 20-21 point win. All right, our last game of the evening is in the Big Ten as the Northwestern Wildcats travel down to Indy to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are a 14-point favorite, and 61 is the number. To be honest with you, this was my toughest game. I went back and forth on this one. You know, Ohio State, they did well for us last week, and they took care of Michigan. Boy, howdy, did they. They completely destroyed that Michigan defense. Now, is Northwestern Michigan? Is there a letdown spot here? Does Ohio State, are they looking forward to that playoff? Do they have a shot? Is that what they're thinking about? Do they take care of business against Northwestern? Northwestern, you know, they have a history of playing good teams close. They played Notre Dame within 10. They played a close game against Iowa, only losing by 4. That was probably, believe it or not, probably the second best team they played this year. I'm tempted to take them to keep it close, but I think Ohio State gets it done. Again, this is another one of those games where style points matter. Ohio State looking to impress, and I think they put their foot on the gas pedal and don't take it off till the final whistle blows. I think the Buckeyes cover up that 14 points very well. All right, guys, don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff. When you subscribe, don't forget to hang up. Don't forget to sign up for the bell. You'll hear a little tone, bing. That'll let you know that your next video is ready and you can check it out. So, yeah, do all that stuff. Follow us on social media, Winners and Whiners, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Listen to me on the pod. Hey, if listening to me for 8 or 10 minutes a day ain't enough, boy, have I got a surprise for you. Every day we do a pod with some of the best cappers around the country, and you get to listen to me yak, 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 yak for about half an hour. So, woohoo! Don't forget to check that out. Bank the Bet as well. Find the link over at the Winners and Whiners site. All right, guys. Until tomorrow, we'll be doing our NFL Fab Five. Hey, man, we got some championship games to watch today. Let's pop some popcorn, get those nachos rolling, baby. Hey, it's a chilly out there, but you know what? Let's put a couple burgers on the grill. We can get that done, right? Run back inside to warm up and then go ahead and flip those burgers. Get those bets down, because at the end of the day, man, you guys can join me as we can head back to the window.